I cannot escape the judgment of others, but I can escape becoming a prisoner to it. Marcus Aurelius. You must stop caring what other people think of you, because the moment you let their opinions shape your behavior, you stop living your life and start performing in a play you never auditioned for. You bend your voice, your personality, your boundaries, your dreams, even your face, all to fit into an image that exists only in your mind, an image of what you think others want you to be, an image that shifts constantly, an image that exhausts you, suffocates you, breaks you, and yet never satisfies the very people you're trying to please. Caring too much turns your entire existence into a negotiation between your true self and the imaginary expectations of people who barely know you, barely think about you, and whose opinions have no real authority over your life. But you treat them like gods. You treat their glances like judgment. You treat their silence like rejection. You treat their approval like oxygen. And so you create a life where every step must be validated, every thought must be filtered, every choice must be justified, every desire must be softened, every part of you must be reviewed through the gaze of strangers before you allow yourself to exist. This is how people lose themselves, not through tragedy, but through subtle self-betrayal repeated daily. You silence yourself to seem agreeable. You hide your ambition to seem humble. You dim your strength to avoid envy. You pretend to feel less so others aren't uncomfortable. You pretend to feel more so others don't judge you. You keep your true desires in a locked box because you fear someone will question them. You build a smaller life because you fear someone might call your bigger one unrealistic. You choose comfort over truth, imitation over originality, conformity over courage. And yet the people you fear are not watching you. They are not analyzing your every move. They are not dissecting your flaws. They are not tracking your mistakes. They are too caught up in their own insecurities, their own fears, their own need for validation. That's the irony. The people you fear judgment from are terrified of judgment themselves. You are living in fear of minds that are just as anxious, just as insecure, just as uncertain as you. And still, you treat their opinions as if they were sacred law. The Stoics understood the absurdity of this. They taught that most people's judgments are impulsive, emotional, uninformed, and temporary, the mental noise of individuals who cannot control their own inner worlds. To let such opinions dictate your path is to hand your freedom to chaos. One moment they admire you for your courage, the next they mock you for the same courage. One moment they praise you for your success, the next they resent you for it. One moment they like you, the next they forget you. The public mind is unstable. The public opinion is fickle. The public judgment is shallow. You cannot base your identity on sandquin. But let's go deeper. Why do their opinions matter so much to you? Because you don't yet believe in your own. When your inner voice is weak, every outside voice becomes loud. When your self-respect is fragile, every criticism feels fatal. When you don't trust your own worth, you borrow your value from others, and borrowed worth collapses. You fear judgment because you fear you might agree with it. You fear rejection because you believe you are easy to reject. You fear being misunderstood because you haven't fully understood yourself. You fear not being enough because you suspect you aren't. Their opinions hurt because they hit wounds you haven't healed. The problem is not the world. The problem is the space inside you where doubt still lives. People with strong self-respect are not immune to judgment. They simply aren't governed by it. They hear opinions, but they do not inhale them. They listen, but they do not absorb. They evaluate, but they do not surrender. They know who they are, and that knowledge becomes a shield no gossip, no criticism, no misunderstanding can pierce. But you shapeshift depending on the room you walk into. You mold yourself to avoid discomfort. You adjust your personality to avoid disapproval. You dilute your authenticity to avoid controversy. And this constant editing of yourself kills your spirit. It kills your creativity. It kills your courage. It kills your clarity. It kills your freedom. The more you care, the less you live. The Stoics taught that caring about public opinion is a form of slavery, a chain around your mind so subtle you don't feel it until you try to move. And when you try, the chain pulls you back. You want to start something, but you imagine someone laughing. You want to speak your truth, but you imagine being judged. You want to take a risk, but you imagine someone thinking you're foolish. You want to walk your path, but you imagine people whispering. And so you freeze, you stall, you hesitate, you shrink, you give up before you begin. That is how caring destroys potential. It doesn't kill you violently, it kills you quietly, through hesitation. The world never defeats you. You defeat yourself on behalf of the world. But the most dangerous part is this: the more you care, the more you forget who you are. And once you forget, you depend entirely on others to tell you. Their opinions become your identity. Their approval becomes your purpose. Their validation becomes your drug. Their rejection becomes your collapse. This is how people lose their souls, by trading them for acceptance. You must reclaim yourself. So how do you stop caring? Not by force, not by pretending, not by acting tough, but by understanding the truth deeply. First, people think about you far less than you imagine. Their minds are full of themselves. Your fear is based on a fantasy. Second, opinions change, disappear, contradict, and conflict. You cannot build anything stable on instability. Third, no matter what you do, someone will criticize you. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone will dislike you. Someone will judge you. You cannot avoid judgment. You can only choose which judgment matters. Fourth, remind yourself of mortality. In 100 years, no one whose opinion you fear will exist. Their thoughts about you will vanish into dust. Even the harshest judgment dies with the person who thought it. Fifth, build individuality. Know your values. Know your boundaries. Know your goals. Know your truth. When you know yourself, the world cannot invent you. Sixth, expose yourself to disapproval deliberately. Speak even when your voice shakes. Do things that scare you. Let people misunderstand you. Tolerance for judgment grows like muscle, through training. Seventh, build competence. Competence creates confidence. When you know you are good at what you do, the crowd cannot shake you. Eighth, develop boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to your mind. Ninth, choose whose voices matter. A handful of wise opinions outweigh 1,000 foolish ones. And 10th, build a life that you respect. When you respect yourself, external opinions become background noise. Practice stillness. A calm mind is immune to noise. The Stoics believed a person is free when they need nothing from the crowd. Not approval, not permission, not applause. And here is the most important truth. You stop caring what others think when you finally start caring about your own soul. When your inner voice becomes stronger than their chatter. When your desire to live authentically becomes stronger than your fear of being judged. When your self-respect becomes stronger than your insecurity. When your longing for freedom becomes stronger than your craving for approval. You become someone who does not look sideways for validation, but forward for purpose. Someone who does not contort themselves to fit opinions that collapse under scrutiny. Someone who realizes that the only judgment that matters is the one you will pronounce on yourself years from now. Did you betray yourself to please people who forgot you? Or did you live courageously as who you truly are? When that question becomes your compass, you become unstoppable. And the day you finally stop caring what others think, not theoretically, not temporarily, but deeply, that is the day you stop being a shadow of yourself and become the person you were meant to be.